Hey, what's going on? Happy New Year. Ryan here with Intersection Records. And we're talking today about 2024, some hopes, some dreams, some predictions, some notable albums and tours, things I'd love to see, things that I'm looking forward to. Last year was an interesting year in rock. We got a new Rolling Stones album. We got some great tours. I was able to see some great shows like Santana perform with John McLaughlin and some things that I never thought that would happen. We had some ridiculous things like Harry Styles winning a Grammy for Best Album and absurd things with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and Rolling Stones Top 25. We had final tours by Dead and Company and seemingly final tours by Leonard Skinner and bands like Kiss, and of course that road will still go on forever, right? Here's some things that I'm looking forward to. No particular order. I'm probably going to ramble a little bit like I normally do, but again, have a happy New Year's Day and a great 2024. Paul McCartney, I think, is working with Andrew Watt on a new album. So Andrew Watt produced the triumphant return of Rolling Stones' Hackney Diamonds. He was also working with Paul McCartney in late 2022, and I think we're going to get a great, and I love the Hackney Diamonds, by the way, primarily I think because Andrew Watt really put the seal on that album, and the finishing touches and the ribbon and bow on the present and the ice cream cherry on top. I think Paul McCartney's going to have a comeback record with Andrew Watt that's going to be phenomenal. What is Rush going to do in 2024? So in 2022, they hit the stage again for the Taylor Hawkins tribute concerts. Was that 2020? Yeah. Wembley Stadium in Los Angeles. They played together for the first time in forever. This whole last year feels like they're talking about, we think it could be the right time to perform again. I would be shocked if there isn't a drummer already in place. I have friends, we debated the other day, they need to change the name of the band. No, they don't. They need to call it Rush because it is ultimately a celebration of Rush. You're not fooling anybody by calling it Counterparts or calling it, Moving Pictures or whatever the hell you're going to call it. You're going to call it Rush, and you're going to go out and you're going to celebrate Neil Peart's life, and you're going to celebrate the legacy of Alex and Geddy, and hopefully do a new album as well. I can only imagine there's notebooks and notebooks and notebooks of Neil Peart lyrics that are existing, and I think it'd be a great tribute to take those lyrics and put it to music and tour behind it with like a Danny Carey or Omar Hakim on drums. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the dumbest organization. I visited the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for the first time. Actually, Nigel Glasscock visited there. If you watch my show where Nigel goes in, who is going to be put in this year in that ridiculous organization? Iron Maiden, MC5, Ozzy as a solo artist. How about Ronnie James Dio as a solo artist? How about Peter Frampton? How about King Crimson? How about the MC5? And many more. I've heard rumors, and I think it's known that David Gilmour is working on a new album with his wife Polly doing the lyrics as she has on the last few albums, and I think on Division Bell as well. I'm looking forward to a possible tour and an album from David Gilmour. AC/DC returned for the Power Trip concerts out in Indio, California this past fall, and from what I've heard, it was fantastic. I think there's some newly remastered footage that was just released today on YouTube. Check that out. Let's hope for a new album from the boys. They've been awfully quiet since Power Trip and before that. A lot of times that means they're reconvening for a new record and tour. There's no way they fired those jets up for one show. I don't believe that. Dream Theater. Mike Portnoy's back in the band following a 10-year departure where Mike Mangini admirably took over. Mike Portnoy is the heart and soul of that band, founding drummer, lyricist. He's back. A new album and a new tour would be highly highly loved. How about John McLaughlin gets some form of Mahavishnu Orchestra back together? Last year he performed with Shotki and did several dates with Shotki and those guys. How about he gets a Dennis Chambers or a Narada Michael Walden or even a almost 80-year-old Billy Cobham along with Jean-Luc Ponty and Jan Hammer together, and they do a tribute and the reform. Maybe even do a new record, Mahavishnu Orchestra. These are bold wishes. While we're on that line, why not we get some form of a tribute to Chick Corea together as Return to Forever and get a Frank Gambale, Stanley Clarke, Lenny White, and maybe a Hiromi on piano. Maybe since Al Di Meola is touring this winter and spring on an electric tour, doing his classic stuff from Elegant Gypsy and all those Casino and all those great albums. Maybe he's got the Jets fired up to be the comeback and do a tribute to Chick Corea's Return to Forever. Anyway, new albums coming out in the first quarter. The Smile has an album called Wall of Eyes coming out on the 26th of January. It'll be their second studio album. They also have a live album, Wall of Eyes, on the 26th of January. Looking forward to that big time from Johnny Greenwood and Tom York and company. Saxon, Hellfire Damnation. Hellfire Damnation's coming out in January as well. Looking forward to the Saxon Uriah Heep joint U.S. tour. They've announced a tour, but they have not announced the dates. I've never seen Uriah Heep, and I love Saxon, and I love Uriah Heep. The Chaos, King of Chaos, what was the album called last year? Anyway, last January, Uriah Heep put out a great album. I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's excellent. Check out Uriah Heep's 2023 album, and looking forward to Saxon's album in January. Blackberry Smoke's got an album in February coming out. Love those country rockers, country jam rockers. Steve Hackett from Genesis. I'm going to finally see him live in April. And in February, he has an album coming out. So does Mick Mars. So does Ace Frehley. Big Train is back. And after the unfortunate passing of their frontman and leader, they have a new album coming out with new frontman, and I can't wait. Check out prog rock band Big Train. I love that band. It's one of my favorite bands, and I cannot wait to review that record and listen to that puppy. John Paul Jones and Sons of Chipotle are playing in the United States. I'm not going to tell you where. No, they're playing in Knoxville at a festival that I want to go to that features Herbie Hancock, Jason Moran, Christian McBride, along with Brad Mehldau, John Batiste, and other jazz folks. I want to check off John Paul Jones off my list because I've never seen him, and that would be awesome in April, I think, or May. Al Di Meola, again, we talked about that. He's on tour. I haven't seen Al in since Return to Forever in like 2009. I've seen him solo as well. He's one of my favorite musicians of all time. He recovered from a heart attack that he had on stage on his European tour last year, and he seems to be back, and he's ready to start down in Texas with some dates in January, flowing through Georgia and Florida as well, and then going to Europe, and then coming back and doing the Midwest and East Coast. Chili Peppers have a tour I'm interested in. John Frusciante's back in the band. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard is coming to St. Louis, where I live. I want to see them. Geese is opening up. Geese is also opening up for Greta Van Fleet here in April in St. Louis. The Cure, are they finally going to put their album out after all these years? Feels like it's about time for The Cure. And I think the Rolling Stones are not only going to successfully tour Hackney Diamonds, I think by the end of next year, they're going to be talking about a follow-up to Hackney Diamonds, because I know that there's been a lot more material recorded and not released by the band. I think we're going to see at least another studio album from that band. Maybe they wait till 2025 just to break it up, but it'd be cool to do albums in back-to-back years like it's the old school. The Sammy Hagar, Jason Bonham, Joe Satriani, Michael Anthony tour. I don't know what to think of that. I think people are going to have fun. Go enjoy that. If I sit on the lawn somewhere and see that tour, I might enjoy it. But Eddie's my king on my Mount Rushmore of musicians, along with Miles Davis, Jerry Garcia, Chick Corea, and Edward Van Halen. I don't know that I could go see that, but I might go check out Wolfgang again. I saw him last fall. He was fantastic. He's going to be on tour in 2024. I'm looking around my room here for inspiration of what else to talk about. Does The Who have another album in them? I don't know if The Who can do another album, but Pete Townshend's always talking about something that he might want to do. I missed Herbie Hancock again in 2023. I haven't seen him in 20 years. I would love to see that happen. In fact, that John Paul Jones show in Knoxville features set by Herbie Hancock. So I'm going to check that out. Those are just some thoughts and predictions. Who knows what idiotic awards they'll give out in February at the Grammys. I don't really care, but I can't wait to do the follow-up show about how big of a joke that whole night is and how self-indulgent it is and how the big, huge, massive record companies will just divvy out awards so that they can all celebrate how much they are pathetic. And Happy New Year's. If you got through this video, I appreciate you. And, want to stay positive like we did last year. There's Dead & Company tours. They're doing the Sphere. We talked about that. I know that's going to be great with all the imagery. I have friends that have been to the Sphere. The YouTube shows are going to do good. Fish is playing the Sphere. I'd love to make it there. But I'd love to knock off a venue, a classic venue that I haven't been to. Last year, I went to Cullowhugga Falls, south of Cleveland, and got my mind blown at a Cure show in one of the most beautiful amphitheaters in the country. Maybe I'll check out the place in Cincinnati outside. Maybe I'll make it to the Merriweather Post outside of Washington, D.C., or check out the Gorge or some venue I haven't checked out. That's always on my bucket list to check out. Maybe the Caverns, that place in Tennessee. There's places all around this beautiful country where you can see shows and, get an experience that's far from home, that changes the way that you hear and see the music. And it can make a great venue, can make a show and a great experience. So peace out. Have a great New Year's Day. Go Michigan. Beat Alabama today. Peace out. See ya.